Good evening. It's Sunday night. You're on KEVU or you're watching this on YouTube. I'm Rick Dancer. This is Rick Dancer Television. We have stories tonight that are going to charm you, going to educate you, and just show you a little bit more about your community. That's what we do here. No blood and guts, just good storytelling, good people. So we're going to start with the story about the Eclipse. We're just going to give you some video, show you some really cool pictures of a place called Carpenter Mountain. Next month, we'll have a story about the lookout there. We're also going to take you halibut fishing and tuna fishing with Mazama Sporting Goods. We're going to show you an old story we did back in the day. Jim Gibbs, he built his own lighthouse down by Yachats. He's since passed, but Jim was a great guy and his story deserves to be told again and again. And we're going to give you some health tips. Some little exercises, some stuff like that throughout the show. That and a whole bunch more stuff. So stay with us on Rick Dancer TV and tell your friends to watch. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting.
Carpenter Mountain going into service for the day with weather, 61 degrees, 52 RH. Winds from east-northeast, 8 to 10. It's mostly clear, but I'm socked in with smoke inversion. And visibility is poor. I have maybe a half mile of visibility.
So you're fine, right? This is Katie Hallard.
Hi everyone.
Equinox Real Estate.
That's right, with the Hallard Real Estate team. So right now our inventory is super low still. We're at 1.7 months worth of inventory. So what that means is if no new homes come on the market, it would take us 1.7 months to sell everything.
Seriously?
Yeah. That's not very much.
So if you're somebody who's retiring or the kids just moved out.
You have a big house, you want to downsize, this is the market to do it in. Or maybe you're in a small house, it's too tiny, you want to move up. There's buyers for every price range and we need homes listed.
Find great deals on furniture, appliances, cabinets, and building materials at the Springfield Eugene Restore, benefiting Habitat for Humanity. Learn more at sehabitat.org.
Kathy gave me a call a couple weeks ago.
So Chip has been transported in a van for many years, but it's like been 10 to 15 years since he's actually been in a car.
She said, well, my brother is having a birthday.
Hey, are we going on a sports car ride? Yeah, we are.
And she said he loves sports cars, so, you know, of course, we all love sports cars, so that's how this is going to work out. Going to get to go for a ride in a Camaro SS.
So Chad, the guy who works with Chip, thought it would be wonderful if we could get Chip in a sports car for his birthday.
You know, we all have dreams, and some of them are tangible and some of them aren't, and this one was tangible.
Different place, yet it's always been the same.
And when he's in the van, he's in his wheelchair. Chip loves magazines on sports cars. He looks at them all the time. So it all went amazing, and he got Hoyered in. And at first he was a little unsure because it felt different not being in his wheelchair, but he loved it. And so we just went cruising on the country roads and blared the music. And
this guy's probably had some challenges that most of us don't ever experience, and so if this one experience puts a smile on his face, it puts a smile on mine, so I'm good.
But actually it was very kind of emotional as we pulled away, because he would just keep looking over at me, and I could tell he was enjoying it, and it was just really fun, the freedom I know that he must have felt at those moments as we were just driving, just the two of us. It felt really fun.
At Patrick Olson Auto Repair, we always ask ourselves these questions. If it was our kid's car, would we fix it? And does it need it? Safety is always a concern when thinking about repairs, but so is your budget. If your check engine light comes on, bring it in and we'll check it for free. Then we'll show you the problem and discuss your options before we fix it. Patrick Olson Auto Repair, the name you can trust.
Credibility is huge. I mean, you put the facts together and you tell the story, the complete picture, then that builds your credibility. Trust is key, because if they don't trust what it is that you're doing every single week, then they're not going to subscribe to the paper, they're not going to buy the paper, they're going to look for other sources to find the news that they want. The best way to stay informed is pick up the paper, and if it's not in the paper, let us know that it's not in the paper so we can go find who we need to get that story. It is about them. It's about the community. That's what the paper is. It's the community paper for Cottage Grove.
Hello, I'm Leona Houston with Country Financial. I've spent years in our community helping families protect their homes, their cars, and their lives. Complete financial security doesn't end with insurance. I'm also here to help you plan for your retirement. I'm backed by a team of professionals that can help you achieve your goals. Together, we'll set up a step-by-step plan to help you reach your financial security. Let's talk soon.
This is the McKenzie Highway 242. As you can see, the road is closed. We've ridden 10.36 miles. We parked down at the water, or at the
Very entrance.
At the entrance where it comes off 126. And so from here is where it gets really fun, because there's no cars.
Awesome.
So one thing when you go on a ride like this, you run into super creepy people. Like, see that guy behind me? He's been following us the whole way.
Okay. All right, go this way.
Share D-Ride Observatory. (5,325 feet above sea level). So yes, we're back at Dakota's, this time in Sisters, where we're having our salad bar again. There's other restaurants. When we come to Sisters, we eat at a lot of places, but when we ride our bikes over, we want to sit out here on the deck, and we want a healthy lunch because we just rode 37 miles. Now it's time for our before we go home shot. So we go to Sisters Coffee, and we have a macchiato. That's going to get us to the top. So their sign mileage is off, and we're like, what, 3 miles from the top?
Yeah, which is a good thing, because that means that
That means we've 3 miles that we've already done on that hill. And that was hard. That was tough. Back of my butt hurts. And then we're just gonna go down and back to our car and back home. So hope you enjoyed this trip along the Highway 242. So why do I get up at 5:15 on a Saturday morning and go for a run for 8 miles? Here's the deal. I just burned off, according to my watch, 1,200 calories. But here's the good news. It's kind of like you're having a savings account with your health. So my workout this morning that I just did is going to continue to burn off calories for the rest of the day. So all day I can be laying around, I can be drinking a beer, I can be watching a movie tonight with my wife at the Broadway Metro or at the Bijou, and I'm still burning calories from this morning. Not to mention my cardiovascular strength improves, plus my lung capacity improves. So the more I do this, the more I get healthy and the better shape I'm in. So get off the couch, get out of your bed, just go walk for 30 minutes, go do something, because you're burning that off for the rest of the day. And have a good Saturday.
Journalism and newspapers and other media sources is important because we have the training. Most of the people that I employ have gone to college and studied journalism, and so what we offer is a source of news that can be trusted. It's in an era where everybody's trying to be the first to get the news out. We actually do some research and talk to the sources and get the story and all the details behind the story.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people, and I love to make people feel good.
So here's the best part at Ranchito Grill. Every month they give away 2 free dinners to some lucky winner, and all you have to do is go in there, have dinner, fill out a little piece of paper with your name and your phone number on it, stick it in the Rick Dancer box, and we draw a name out every month and have a winner.
Tom Mosman. with Oakshire Brewing. I'm our Chief Operations Officer.
So tell me what happened in the house before you called Brinkers.
On a Saturday afternoon, put in a load in the dishwasher to let it run, and left for the day. Came back and the entire kitchen was flooded, completely wet, totally soaked. Got out my own towels, some fans, and thought I had taken care of it, you know, dried things out. A few days later, had a friend come over who's a plumber, and he looked at the floor and said, "No,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble."
Rush of cold wind.
So there used to be a wall right there.
Literally, yeah, right along here. So they were in here within a couple hours, tearing everything else out. The bottoms of all the cabinets, you can't quite see it now, but they were all totally soaked. So they removed the cabinetry, got that moved out, removed all the flooring, goes all the way around. The leak and the flooding had gone all the way into this utility room and all the way into a bathroom here. These were different floors at the time, and so they yanked everything out. I think within a day, we had all the damaged flooring removed. And within a couple days of that, you know, I was thinking about a major project I had for this house. For sort of my hope and dream was to remove this wall here. So pitched that to Carlos, and he and his team thought about it, talked to some of their folks, and within a couple days we had a plan together to pull the whole thing out. So that's kind of cool. You know, by repurposing some of the cabinetry and taking some other measures, it made it a little more, you know, cost effective for us to do a pretty major addition to the initial project.
So shoulders are something that are really awesome to work out, because when you get them built up enough, then it keeps your posture good. So you're up and you're looking tougher. Male or female, we don't want to be hunched over like this as we get older. So some really easy things you can do for shoulders. Don't use a ton of weight, just use a little bit of weight, and you're just lifting up like this. Doing 3 sets of 10 of that, and then you can go and lift up. We call these a flasher, because you're flashing. It's just something to make you do it. So you're just coming up like that, just like that, and then come down, up, like this, down, like that. See that? And you will, if you do those, you'll start building up those shoulders and really getting that nice broad upper body look. Now I swim a lot, so that helps me a ton, pulling in because you're using your shoulders like that, but you don't have to do a lot of weight to make it work.
It gets everything nice and relaxed. My massage is individual based. Depends on what's going on with you. I ask you questions, find out what's going on with you, find out your daily activities, what's bothering you today. Every massage is different. I don't do the same massage on everybody because everybody's different. I don't do the same pressure on everybody because everybody's different. You know, some people I can go deeper, other people lighter. Fibromyalgia people can have a flare-up. It's a light touch. Somebody with a sports injury, knee injury, if they're sore, I can work that out. I do stretches on them. It all depends on, you know, I analyze what goes on and I look at the body structure when you lay down to see how your body is laying on the table. If one hip's higher, one hip's lower, let's fix the problem, not treat the symptom.
Come on, let's hear it.
The music died. I started singing bye bye, Miss America Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. The good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die.
Oh, her. Oh, him.
Where are we? Where are we?
Where are we? I don't know where I am, but I am. Where am I? Oh, I am at the park. H2O! H2O!
What are we doing here today?
Dragon boat racing.
Who's going to win?
We are fire-breathing blowfish.
The blowfish.
So yeah, when I took over Mazama, I did so more as a business venture. I didn't have a lot of the knowledge that that was required on the actual hunting and fishing side. So it's been a real adventure learning the hunting and the fishing and learning what our customers really love, what their passion is. I'm the halibut fishing, you're sitting there waiting for the halibut to find the bait. It's not like tuna fishing where you're on the go all the time. The tuna we were hand lining in, you can use poles, but we find that it's easier to hand line them in. They're not too hard to pull in, they're smaller fish. They're very fast, they can swim up to 60 miles an hour. It's a lot like a barn door, reeling up a barn door. I was spoiled with electric reels, so I didn't notice it as much, but for a lot of folks, it'll wear your arm out trying to get those big fish in. Well, here we are, guys. We had a good trip out here in Newport, Oregon. Caught our 4 halibut in about 6 hours. 159 incher, 250 inchers, and 136 incher. So can't complain about that. Fishing's good. Fish on, guys. I'm learning what their passion is, and I'm loving it. It's becoming my passion. I'm looking forward to an elk hunt this fall. I'm excited about that myself.
On tonight's Oregon People segment, a trip to the coast. Many of us are fascinated by lighthouses. Have you ever driven by that lighthouse near Yachats? It looks like it's part of a man's home. Well, it is. But it's also a working, registered lighthouse. Watch.
This was my dream from the time I was a young man, from the time we first came down to the coast in the 1920s, that someday I would have my little so-called castle on the edge of the Oregon shores.
Here on the cleft of the rock, nestled in the shadow of Cape Perpetua, 71-year-old Jim Gibbs found a dark spot to build what has become a light for many. He noticed on some old maps that Cape Perpetua was earmarked for a lighthouse. The government never built it, so Gibbs did it himself.
Lighthouses have always been kind of a homing pigeon for the seafarer, so to speak, and they have a special purpose, and they mean something different to everybody. The lighthouse is kind of a human symbol of the light shining always the brightest in the darkest places.
The rotating light is officially registered with the Coast Guard and must be lit from sunset to sunrise every day of the year.
It's kind of a symbol in a way, because lighthouses are in the twilight of age to navigation, so to speak, in this high-tech electronic age in which we live. But they still have a warmth, and they still are very much admired by the general public. And I think there'll always be lighthouses, even though their importance has been reduced.
Gibbs knows how important lighthouses were to seafarers of the past. In 1945 and 46, he was a lighthouse keeper on one of the most lonely, isolated lighthouses in the country, Tillamook Rock near Seaside.
It was an experience all of its own, because it was suddenly like going to a prison. In fact, when I was out there, it was called the Little Alcatraz of Oregon. And in later years, news people dubbed the name Terrible Tilly.
To Jim, Tilly was not all that terrible. In fact, he learned to love her and what she stood for. You can see by his home that this maritime writer never has been able to break off his love affair with the sea.
Well, it's kind of like having old friends. I mean, each one of them means something personally to you, and they all have a story connected with them. And the nice thing about nautical things, they never talk back to you. You can just reminisce with them.
Gibbs spends a lot of time reminiscing with the old 18th and 19th century technology, most of it obsolete. But he still salvages pieces like these old lighthouse lenses.
These all have hand-ground polished glass, and each one has a different configuration because they all refract and reflect into one central band.
Each one spent many years guiding ships along the rocky Pacific coastline. Reason enough for Gibbs to save it, reason enough for people to remember. Gibbs spent his whole life writing about the sea. Not a bad job writing about something you love so much, especially when it's as powerful as the ocean. The sea is filled with mystery and intrigue for this man. The lighthouse and the rock it's built on don't stop the storms from beating the coastline, but they do provide protection, security, and a solid foundation for many, including Jim Gibbs. Maybe that's why he calls this place his Cleft of the Rock.
Cleft of the Rock comes from a passage in the Bible in Exodus, which tells about Moses being hid in the cleft of the rock when God passed by. It's also from the hymn which says, "He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock." I just give all the credit to the good Lord because I've had a blessed life, so to speak, and it's kind of terminated in exactly what I had planned from the beginning, and He allowed it to be.
So the next time you drive along Highway 101 south of Yachats and you are admiring that light and being warmed by the romance lighthouses stir in all of us, you might remember Jim Gibbs for this very special gift he's given all of us.